Started. All right, well, welcome to the stream, everybody. Sorry I didn't stream last night. I know Monday night is the regular Soul Herder night, but I don't know. My schedule's just been a little bit weird. I had to wake up early yesterday, so super tired in the evening, and I guess I just didn't really feel up to streaming last night. So had some time this afternoon. Figured I'd sit down and try to play some Soul Herder. To be honest, I've been playing mostly Merfolk lately, which for me feels pretty nice since I had been off the deck for 6 to 9 months or something while I was getting started with Soul Herder. Merfolk has felt pretty good lately. Got a 4-1 the other day. No 5-0s yet with it though. Drakenar has been doing super great with a very similar list. I had felt like 20 lands was a little bit too much, so I trimmed down to 19. That made space to run an extra Force of Negation. I think Drakenar still just has 3 and 3, and our sideboards are a little bit different. I feel like Chalice is really well situated right now, so I've got the full 4. Actually, there's like this new blue-red prowess deck, and mono-red prowess is also still very popular, and both of those decks run tons of 1-drops. So Chalice is going to be great there, great against burn. So quite enjoying the Chalice. Also, just 4 Cavern of Souls in this deck lets us really comfortably play through Chalice. Also, Eldrazi Tron main decks Chalice, so really nice to have access to Cavern of Souls. But for today, with Soul Herder, I am going to be playing my 60-card list, not an 80-card list. The 60 cards that I've been playing have had Urian as a singleton. That can get either just randomly hardcast or more typically searched for with Chord of Calling. Usually if you're at the point of the game where you get Urian down, you're going to win. It's a pretty powerful card, but also clunky. It's legendary. You don't want to draw more than 1. And with the new companion rule, if you don't have Ether Vial, I mean, it's just super clunky, paying 3 mana to get Urian into your hand, telegraph to your opponent exactly what's happening. They get a turn and a half or whatever to sort of adjust and get a plan going for how they're going to deal with Urian. I much prefer just like drawing it or courting for it. And yeah, I don't know. 60 cards in normal Magic deck. Variance is a little bit flattened out compared to running 80 cards. 80 cards will tend, for the most part, to feel similar to 60 cards if you balance out the ratios. But there's always the chance, there's just a greater chance than with 60 cards that you're just going to draw a pocket of like 4 lands running 80 cards. And that can be kind of frustrating. Hey DV, thanks for joining me this afternoon. I know it's a weird time. I wasn't able to stream last night, but welcome, and again, thanks for joining me. Not really sure if this list is where I want to be. I just this morning tweaked a little bit. I trimmed the forces down to 2, and I went up to 3 paths. They should probably be running 4 paths and maybe even more, since Goblins is all over the place, and the other popular decks are pretty creature heavy. So I'm just gonna jump into some queues today. I really don't feel like playing like even close to high stakes Magic right now with Soul Herder. I believe in the deck's power to 5-0 and do well, but the format is just so cutthroat right now. Decks trying to win on turn 3, and we're just trying to have fun with card draw and like resisting the opponent's onslaught. I'm still testing Niambi. I had been on 4. Obviously, there's going to be more space for for 4 cards like Niambi. In the 80 card build, you just got a lot more flexibility there. 60 card builds tend to be a ton tighter than the 80 card builds. You know, I've got 3 witnesses, 3 herders. Everything else is like a singleton, 1, right? So just not a ton of space to just pack like 4 siege rhinos. Like my 80 card list has 4 siege rhinos because I like siege rhino, but with 60 cards can only fit 1 of each of these guys. We're going to lean pretty hard on Chord of Calling to sort of figure out, you know, or get whatever we need in any specific situation. Of course, when you run 60 cards, with the variance being lower, you can afford to run more comfortably, you know, singletons that aren't creatures like Worship, Purge, Winds of Abandon, Ceremonious. Bring these cards in as packages against different kinds of decks, and you're going to be likely enough to hit 1 or 2 of your sideboard cards if you're bringing in packages of singletons, versus 80 where unless you have like 4 chords and you're bringing in like toolbox creatures, you don't really have a great chance of drawing your sideboard cards. So yeah, anyhow, that's the deck. I haven't really touched the sideboard. I was mentioning a moment ago, I've been playing Merfolk mostly lately. So honestly, I expect to be quite rusty playing Soul Herder today, but it's all right. I don't play this deck to win, really. Winning is nice, winning is the goal, but having fun is also nice. Set your expectations appropriately, and you won't be disappointed. So just gotta wait for an opponent. I believe the most up-to-date list, even with the few tweaks I made this morning, should be viewable with the Cardboard Live thing over here, the plugin. And while we're waiting for an opponent, I guess we can sort of look at the list for another moment. So sideboard-wise, Spore Frog is a pretty cool card. It's the kind of card that I love being able to run in a deck like this. We had a match against Infect on one of my last streams, and we had an amazing lock going with Teferi, Spore Frog, Eternal Witness, and Ephemerate, where the opponent couldn't kill Spore Frog on my turn, which is what they need to do in order for it to not be effective on their turn. So I could just sack Spore Frog on their turn, prevent all the damage from their infect creatures. And yeah, Teferi's safe because if the opponent's not dealing any damage, then Teferi's not going to die. And then yeah, just Ephemerate, Eternal Witness, get back Spore Frog from the graveyard, play it again, and just keep building my board. Well, this looks like a very nice opening hand. So I'm going to keep this. Probably go Breeding Pool into Hierarch. But to be fair, maybe I'll just go... There's always this thing about the Coatls and turning on Death Touch. Opponent starting with 7, I'm definitely going to keep, so I'll just say keep, and we can sort of think about which land we'd prefer to start with. Since Venser now looks like it's probably going to be relevant sooner than later, it still doesn't matter. I'm going to have double blue with Hierarch on turn 1 or turn 2, like getting Hierarch down with Breeding Pool, or Forest. Deputy is okay in the matchup. If it's Eldrazi-tron, then Path should be really good. All right, so yeah, I'll just run out the basic. Like, we should have our mana sort of... It doesn't seem like it makes a big difference. Even if they kill the Hierarch, we should be able to, if we draw into a snake, we can play the Breeding Pool and just play the snake next turn. Oh god. Bluetron. I don't think this is a great match for us. We hate Walking Ballista, obviously, but also Repealing. Sweet. Just slowing down the match. Oh well, all right, let's speed it up a little bit. So the best thing that we could sort of hope for here is to draw Venser, maybe Chord for Venser, but you know that's a bit a bit of a ways off, given the board state here. Okay, Opponent still 2 turns away from establishing Tron. Well, we're hitting our lands. It's kind of nice. Deputy does nothing here. I think I'm probably just going to attack with the birds. I don't have anything in my graveyard. I might as well play Eternal Witness. Attack with Hierarch here. I guess they could flash in Snapcaster, which would be kind of gross, in which case I probably should have played Birds of Paradise. Attacked with Birds of Paradise. I mean, if they're chilling on like a Remand, I don't know that I love just running Eternal Witness into it, but at the same time, maybe better for them to counter the Eternal Witness, which doesn't really do anything right now. Let me play this island, leave up the birds. I'm fully expecting this to be countered, though, whether with Condescend or with Remand. Opponent could let it resolve, though, because there's nothing in the graveyard, right? So effectively just building the clock. We can protect it with Ephemerate, even though it's pretty stupid because we don't have anything in the graveyard. All right, so they have a power plant, which I'm certain will get played out next turn. You just dismiss that right away. Opponent probably going to pass with mana up again. They could play something like Simulacrum right now. Maybe Ballista on X2, and I'll just scoop immediately. And Talisman of Dominance. All right, so next turn they could play a Worm Coil. We could path it. That would be probably like the best for us. All right, let's just crack in for 3. It's not really much of a soul herder kind of game going on right now. It's attacking with pointless dorks. I'd kind of rather not draw more lands, and they're not really pressuring the life total, so I guess I'll go with the Windswept Heath and get a like a fetch land. Sorry, a shock land out of the deck. So no Tron, please. Transmuting. So I imagine this is going to be Walking Ballista, which is just pretty dirty. Oh, well, no, they got an Urza's Mine. Probably makes more sense. So I guess they don't have that Worm Coil I was talking about, since they do have mana to cast it right now. Probably something bigger and scarier. A little bit awkward that the Deputy's in our hand. Since if we draw Chord, we can't like go get it. We just get the Overgrown Tomb right now. Okay, I'm going to play this. I always forget to play out my Hierarchs as like combat tricks. Yeah, but they've got Tron. It's the difference between 9 mana and 10 mana. Probably not going to be relevant, and I'd rather hold the Deputy to actually exile something that matters. They're probably going to play Ulamog or something like that. If they play, I don't know. There's so many things that can just wreck us. Yeah, well, okay, Deputy can deal with that, but they probably have a counterspell in hand. Ephemerating doesn't do anything, and actually is sort of actively bad in this spot. Unless they try to, like, Lightning Bolt my Eternal Witness, in which case I would probably Ephemerate it. Or maybe not even, I don't know. Ephemerate's probably better here just to protect Deputy. Though once they wipe my board, I'm only going to have 1 white, which is pretty nasty. So then I might just want to... I've got 2 more paths in the deck. I feel like I'm kind of priced into pathing one of these dorks just to get more white mana. Opponent seems to be playing pretty carefully. Like, they didn't counter the Eternal Witness unnecessarily. They didn't counter the path there. So if this gets countered, I'm just gonna scoop. Are they? Oh man. Okay, so remand, getting punished for the Birds of Paradise. But since it's still in my hand, I can just continue to play. It's possible the opponent just has total air in their hand. So you can see that deputying the Mono Rock would have been pretty poor, since they obviously could have just continued to play. They could just play Ugin, obviously without the talisman. So now if they've Condescend, they can Condescend for like 18. Spell Burst. Is that what the name of that counter spell with buyback? Chord, kind of the same as just casting this thing. But as I was saying earlier, like having Deputy in hand just makes Chord a little bit awkward. All right, well, you know, if they have Dismember or something, I guess we've got that covered. Something like Karn. This is going to make it so that they can't even scry if it resolves. Or draw a card, I mean, because it's going to sort of cancel the target. Again, if at this point, if they have any answer to anything I'm doing, like we're hanging on by a thread here. Yeah, they did. They had Tron. That's why I didn't target this thing. Or I didn't even consider it an option. They did have Tron at that point. You're talking about the turn before Ugin. They had established Tron. They had transmuted Tolaria West to get the third Tron piece, but they didn't have enough mana to cast Ugin. So they're not going to draw. They're going to be stuck at 3 cards. One of the cards... I don't think we know about any of the cards. Okay, so they're paying 8 mana on my turn here now. Shark Typhoon cycling. So making a 6/6, I guess. All right. So Eternal Witness off the top. For Path to Exile. I mean, Chording, I guess I could Chord for Path, Eternal Witness. Guess I am going to let this happen here. We'd like to have the Ephemerate be in the graveyard. I could do like Chord for Soul Herder. I could blink this now. I could get rid of the Shark and then get Soul Herder and get rid of Ugin. Again, hanging on by a thread. So playing this land doesn't really seem to make much of a difference. So maybe I'll just keep it in hand. Yeah, looks like they have something, so... Spell Pierce. Okay, I think I'm just going to concede. Pretty hard to beat Ugin. We did our best. I had to deal with that Shark. I would have died in 2 turns if I didn't deal with the Shark. Okay, so against Blutron, I've got Ceremonious Rejection. Pithing Needle is going to be great. Obviously, Veil is pretty good. Meh. Teferi is fantastic. Collector Oof is going to be pretty good. And Disdainful Stroke, obviously. Okay, so things to cut. Got 9 cards to take out. We can trim 1 path at least. They don't really have a lot of spot removal type stuff, so I think Niambi can probably come out. Also, life gain is not super relevant. Uro is pretty grindy, but they're not really filling up our graveyard too much. Again, life gain, not really a big deal, so we can take that out. Knight's good because it can blow up artifacts. Deputy was the only thing keeping us alive in that game. Stonehorn, maybe not necessary. We need some win conditions, so I'm a little reluctant to take out all of my heavy hitters. Soul Herder's pretty good in this matchup. I can trim 1 Soul Herder, I guess. We need to keep in like actual stuff that does things. Again, with life gain not being relevant, Thragtusk can come out. We got 3 cards left to cut. I do want to keep my lower drops in the deck. Ramp seems relevant, but maybe not the most important thing in the world. I'll trim. I don't know. I like them. I don't know. I guess I have to trim a Hierarch. I don't know. Better to trim birds, I guess. Trim the 2 birds, and we'll trim 1 more path, and we'll run it like that. I left the Hierarchs in for the Exalted to try to actually get some damage in. But I think this is a very unfavorable matchup. Counterspells, board wipes, massive planeswalkers. All right, well, this I'm gonna keep this. A little sketchy, but sometimes gotta do what you gotta do. I'm going to get a breeding pool with the Misty Rainforest. Just in case they have removal for the Hierarch, then kind of like any land would turn Coatl on, and yeah, this Pithing Needle should hopefully be pretty good. The hand has a lot going for it, but it also just has 1 land, so quite possible we get sort of jammed up here. In order for Veil to actually be useful, we have to have lands to cast things. I think I can let that resolve. And then I'll just Pithing Needle it. That seems good. So land would be amazing here. Fencer is also quite good. I could be greedy and go like Coatl, try to draw land, but that seems, as I said, greedy. So just gonna go with the Pithing Needle on Expedition map now. And we're already getting punished a little bit for the one for the 1 land keep. Excuse me, but we do have a counterspell. We do have Venser. We do have Veil. I'm not going to counter anything on the opponent's turn. They could try to blow up, like kill one of my creatures, and I could Veil, but I don't feel like that's likely. So let's get in some damage. Although if they have Ballista and they just kill my Hierarch, I mean, I couldn't protect that with Veil anyway. And if they do like Dismember, I could of course just like force it. Yeah, so that makes sense. They just played an island. Another Coatl. So I think we have to just pass through here, and I could cast Coatl. I don't have Veil mana up though, and I'd rather do stuff on their turn. Hey, Sesben, thanks so much for the subscription. I really appreciate it. This is Q's. I'm playing against Mono Blue Tron, and I kept a one-lander with Hierarch and some good stuff. Obviously, Pithing Needle, Veil, Force of Negation, Venser. All this stuff is excellent against Tron. We just need to hit a land or two. We're going to make them work on their turn. Cast a Coatl. If we want to fight for it, we could force any counterspell that they have. I hope this is probably Ballista. Looks like, oh, it's Chalice. All right, so at this point, this is only going to turn off. I could counter this if I wanted to. They could have Spell Pierce, of course. I think the first thing to do is just go with Coatl and see what we draw. To see if we have something like kind of useless to pitch the force. Well, we did draw a land. That's quite nice. I really like the Veil. The Veil actually will draw a card and replace the card that force pitches. And Ephemerate is really good. I have another Dork. So you know what though? I can let this resolve. And if it's really important later, I can bounce it with Venser. I can hold up force for something more important. And play Soul Herder next turn. I think this Pithing Needle is doing work. I'd love to cast that Hierarch. We just want to open up our mana a little bit. I think it's actually very important that I play the Hierarch. I can then attack for more with Ice Fang and then flash in another Ice Fang. God damn it. I always forget that. I'm gonna... Sorry, guys. I apologize to the opponent because I hate making stupid punts like that. Yeah, that was the plan until I drew a Hierarch and then messed up my whole stuff. Messed up my business. So this Veil is going to chill over here in this dark corner, and I'm not going to even think about casting it. That's why you guys watch my stream, right? This high-level magic. All right, so they're getting closer to Tron. I'm throwing cards into my graveyard. I'm gonna do my best, man. I'm gonna do my best. If opponent fights over this, they're not fighting over it. All right, so Ephemerate is also offline. Yuck. Land, so we turn Venser on? Okay, all right, so I'm gonna attack with both Coatls, even though one of them gets exalted, just in case they feel like dismembering one of them. And I feel like Soul Herder's just probably better here. The opponent almost certainly holding up some kind of counter magic. The fact that we do want to hit lands, though, makes me kind of feel like running out Oracle could be okay. But then the question is, what do I want to pitch to force? And whatever, I'm gonna go for Soul Herder. We're playing to win, not playing not to lose. All right, so fair enough. Rayman is a thing. And they just naturally draw Tron. That makes sense, right? Why wouldn't that happen? So remand on force is never that amazing, but it is going to make us pitch another card. And at this point, unfortunately, I think Venter is the pitch. We don't have mana to even cast him. We need some value, so playing out Soul Herder, blinking, and drawing some cards is kind of the best that we could hope for here. But Venter is now officially out of the picture. It's one of the only ways that we can deal with their Tron. Okay, well, Ugin dealt with, but I'm pretty sure they've got more where that came from. I don't know, guys. It's pretty precarious. The fact that the opponent naturally drew the two pieces that they don't have is pretty feel bad. Feels bad, man. Like, what are the odds of that? I know they're 4-ofs, but like, it's like Merfolk drawing exactly a Lord of Atlantis and then a Master of the Pearl Trident. It's like you can't draw 2 Masters of the Pearl Trident, you can't draw 2 Lord of Atlantis, you have to draw exactly one of each. And the opponent did exactly that. Venser could also have bounced Pithing Needle, but we're not in a spot where we can use Venser. Well, now we would have been able to, but nice that we hit a land. But the opponent can untap and play like any of a bazillion things that would just ruin our day. I don't think I'm going to be avenging you today, says Ben. Blah. All right. That's obnoxious. We still have a 7-turn clock on board. I guess Knight of Autumn blows up Chalice. Tomb is not what I was hoping for. Remember that my 1-drops are uncastable or unresolvable right now. Maybe I should have attacked with both of these guys here, using the same logic as before. If they have some removal, like, better to get in 1 point of damage. You just kind of get into a hole against Bluetron because we can generate card advantage, but they've got the tools to just remove the pieces like Soul Herder. And with Chalice on the board, it's kind of obnoxious because I can't generate value with Ephemerate. Yeah, I mean, getting my one drops castable again would be nice, but it cannot pay, no. And now they get to scry 2. We'll see what they do with their scries, and well, they went bottom, so that's something. 6 more turns. Come on, give me something, deck. No cord, just straight up Knight off the top. Yawn. All right, opponent. Draw more land, please. Thirst for knowledge. Repealing. I mean, I guess. I guess Tolaria West, and then they transmute, but yeah, now they transmute for whatever they want. Probably Walking Ballista. It's possible the game might be going slightly differently if I had gotten that Soul Herder down on that turn rather than punting by playing a Hierarch into Chalice. But now the opponent can transmute and they'll have like 10 mana left over. Handful of 1-drops against Chalice. This is why I'm running Cavern of Souls in Merfolk right now. Cavern and Chalice, actually. Okay, exactly 10 mana left over. That looks like Ballista for 5. And Knight off the top would still blow up the Chalice and let me play Pithing Needle. Okay, whatever. All right, guys. First game goes to the Bluetron player. Actually, probably going to chill for a minute because I don't want to play against Bluetron again. It's just boring. And frankly, like, we're just like, I don't know, sitting duck against them and just do whatever they want, basically. We had a pretty decent spot, but then the fact that they naturally drew the 2 Tron pieces right off the top was pretty annoying. I don't know. It's just with this deck, it's so hard to like choose to go aggro. Like, we don't really have that option. So, I'm gonna join again just because I've got you guys sort of here with me today, and hopefully the Bluetron player is not gonna join again. If we really expect the guy to join, we can go and like try to make our deck really good against like Bluetron. Just like jam the deck full of like Cavern of Souls and I don't know, Spreading Seas, counter spells, Merfolk stuff. Yeah, I was explaining that earlier. The removal slash counterspell slots always need to be balanced based on the metagame, and the metagame right now is like prowess, burn, goblins, prowess, two prowess decks, burn, goblins, other creature decks, humans. Force is a good card, but I feel like the balance should be skewed slightly in favor of Path right now. Yeah, Snake Tribal would be pretty good, but then again, Goblins is really popular right now, and people are like main decking Plague Engineer, so going crazy hard on the snakes. I don't know. It's like I feel like I can't really win right now with this deck in Modern. I play it because I love it, but Modern is pretty aggressive right now, pretty gross. So while we're waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and just on my phone, I'm gonna glance at the metagame. Let's see, meta. So at the top, we've got Simic Reclamation, which honestly, I haven't played against Wilderness Reclamation once in months and months and months. So the fact that it's the top deck in the format right now is quite puzzling to me. I've been playing leagues and queues and just really haven't seen it. I have seen a bunch of Eldrazi Tron. That's the second deck. Bant Control, obviously. So we've got, from Simic Reclamation is a Force matchup, Eldrazi is a Path matchup, and also a Force matchup. Bant Control, more of a Force matchup, but again, Path is going to be relevant against Uro. Goblins, definitely a Path matchup. And then you have Gruul Midrange, more of a Path matchup. Prowess, Red Prowess is a Path matchup. You've also got Blue Prowess, Path matchup. Dredge, more of a Force matchup. Burn, kind of both, but leaning towards Force. Amulet Titan, more of a Path matchup. Jund, definitely Path. Tron, it's like you kind of need both. And in 60 card Soul Herder, we don't really have the slots to run like 4 paths and four forces. I mean, I guess we can make the spots. We used to have that kind of space. before we got greedy and added a whole bunch of other flex stuff. But I don't know. I have to wrap my head around what the best approach is for our deck. I feel like I might be moving back towards like Dorkless again. Just like trim the Monodorks, because the reason I got psyched on Monodorks again after being down on them was that we had access to Urian just to cast from the Companion Zone before they actually changed the rule. Like, just ramping to 5 mana to cast Urian was pretty awesome. So I thought Dorks were amazing. But now we're sort of back to not really having amazing stuff to do. I know that Dorks are important for building a board to be able to chord for something. But then, a lot of the time in the early game, we're not really chording for anything that's super significant. I mean, we could chord for like answers to something like some kind of artifact that we need to blow up, some kind of like creatures that we need to catch with Deputy. But I don't know, like the Dorks, they can feel like dead air. So if I were to add more paths and forces, that's potentially where I would start. I don't know, guys. Maybe I have to trim some of the flex stuff. Maybe Thragtusk is not main deckable. It's possible. Kind of annoying that it's taking so long to find an opponent. I could jump into a league, but again, it's my view that this deck, I don't know, it's kind of hard to say that it's super competitive right now in Modern. I'd be interested to know, your guys' thoughts on that. While we wait for an opponent. Like, I can't really see much of a point in joining a league if I'm just gonna, like, get smashed by everything. Okay, Shogun Helios, and we are on the draw. With 2 lands, no 2-drops, opponent starting with 7. If it is a combo deck, then we've got the interaction. If it's a creature deck, we've got the interaction. Well, DV, I mean, if we are in like making the observation that it's a super creature heavy meta, then I guess the black version running like Todd Howlskuller with Wasteland Strangler and a lot of removal could be considered pretty strong. This is such a weird hand. Like, if it's prowess, I'm happy to keep it. I'll keep. We'll see how it goes. I mean, normally the rule is you have to sort of mulligan to 2-drops and some kind of value. Yes, I think that's fair. That if this is Infect, then I think we're pretty well situated here. And that was a great draw off the top. So if they just untap and play like Blighted Agent, I'd like to be able to path it, but at the same time, probably more important just to get this Vista down. Yeah, it looks like Infect. But they're going to be able to... Oh, another Hierarch. Interesting. And now the... okay, Glistener Elf with protection up. 3 cards left in their hand. We can go for like Path on their upkeep and then force. We could go for like double Path on their upkeep if necessary and then force back up just to deal with the Glistener Elf. I mean, hopefully like the first path will resolve and that's good enough, but I don't love the idea of just going for path now and letting them... Well, if I go for a path now, they have to burn like a Vines or something like that, which won't actually pump the Glistener Elf on their turn. And then again, we do have like another path. And life total doesn't really matter in this matchup, so I can very easily go get like a Hallowed Fountain and not really care about it too much. So probably just better to make them use their mana on their turn. They could go like double, like kicked vines, so I could I mean, we've got 3 pieces of interaction, so let's try to do it on their turn. All right. So, what do you got, opponent? Let me have it. Okay, nothing, I guess. Sweet. I think I'm gonna let this go. It's gonna get in for 7 this turn. And then I mean, I could just force this. Could also path the hierarch. I mean, I think 7 damage is fine for now. Actually, it's 8, right? 8 damage. They're gonna attack with both, so it's just 4 more damage. It's 12 damage. Yeah, I mean, it sort of seems like I might as well just go for a path here. Opponent's representing that they don't have any other infectors. Although, you know what? That was really stupid. God, I'm a little out of it today. I should have pathed the one that it resolved on already. And then, well, no, if I path the one it resolved on already, I was saying if I force, but I wasn't going to force anyway. So I want to draw lands here. So, and we still have force up. We want to get Stonehorn down on the table. It looks like we're drawing awkwardly, just like the opponent. Only interaction left that we can cast is force at this point. Rancor is one that I think we might be priced into forcing this. Well, it's a 2/1. If I block, it goes to the graveyard, but then they're out of creatures. They're going to get Rancor back to hand. Oh, you're right. It's a 3/2 because of the Exalted. I think I'll just force it. We're fairly far away from casting Venser, even though it's interaction. I think I have to pitch Venser here. It is a 3/2. And we're nowhere near Death Touch. All right, so oh my god. We're gonna lose to Noble Hierarch Beatdown if I don't draw lands like right now. And it really needs to be like a basic. Ah, well, that's actually pretty good. So let's path right now. All right, so they're getting Rancor back in hand. We know that's one of 2 cards, and we can play the Hierarch, attack with Exalted. And this is the weirdest game I've played against Infect in forever. I know that Hierarch Beatdown, Dryad Arbor Beatdown are real things. I actually play, or had played Infect in Modern and Legacy, more in Legacy. So, okay, opponent just scooped. We managed to get through that. Let's see what we were going to draw. Land. All right, so Stonehorn was coming up. Okay. Worship, not good in the matchup. Teferi, super duper good in the matchup. Spore Frog was amazing in the last match against Infect. I do bring in Pithing Needle just to turn off the Inkmoth Nexuses. Winds is removal, even though it's kind of slow. It becomes an instant if we play Teferi, so that's something. And then, yeah, Purge isn't really interesting, I don't think. So This is a matchup where Soul Herder is actually quite good because they don't really have removal. They do play Spellskite, whether in the main or the sideboard, so Knight of Autumn is actually decent. Uro can easily come out. Niambi, life gain is irrelevant. Thragtusk can come out. And again, because of the lack of removal, the Dorks are actually a little bit better than they are on average. Siege Rhino is a win condition. I'm not sure that we need it, honestly. Life gain 99 times out of 100 against Infect is going to be kind of pointless. So maybe I'll take out Siege Rhino. Urian is really, really expensive. So I think I can trim Urian. Yo, Ryan. I'm going to keep the forces in, going to keep all the paths in. Any kind of removal / interaction like Deputy can't come out of the deck. Like Venser, for example. Really, we're looking for like Teferi. Last time it was Teferi, Spore Frog, Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, just looping them out of the game. I think I can trim an Oracle. Pithing Needle is for one of their 3 threats in the deck. Inkmoth Nexus. You know, Infect has to keep just a hand with an Infect creature, and Inkmoth Nexus is one of those creatures, so... have to keep this, unfortunately. Opponent's mulliganing, we're going to keep. Mulligans against Infect are great because it just means that the chance of them drawing a creature, or plural creatures, are that much lower. So they're going to tap out on turn 2 for, and we just drew a land, that's pretty sick. They're going to tap out on turn 2 for Blighted Agent, and we're just going to path it immediately. And then we can untap and play like a Coatl. So yeah, hand just got a lot better drawing that Temple Garden. So we're going to play this untapped. Telegraphing our path to exile, but sort of fine by me. I could have played Windswept Heath and sort of kept it secret. Gonna slow roll to protect it. Makes sense. Makes sense. It's possible they don't have an Infector and they're just gonna go on the Noble Hierarch plan here. Man, the deck is really helping us out. If we can go on the like Witness Path plan, it seems pretty good. So I think I'm just gonna pass back here. Get a like a basic island. Play Coatl. Not too complicated. Really not afraid of the Noble Hierarch beatdown plan. So what do we want to do next turn is the question. They obviously have protection for the Blighted Agents. That's why they've done the sequencing this way. So I feel like I kind of am priced into just like double pathing here. Actually, you know what? I path once on tap, and well, I can save wins for later. No reason to wins now. Yeah, I'll just path and path, I guess. So let's see. They are not playing a land this turn. This is why you keep the one-landers against Infect, because Path to Exile just kind of wins the game, usually. Now I'll play Witness and get back one of those paths, and we should just be golden. Could also just establish a clock. That might actually be better. Like just play Knight of Autumn as a 4/3 or something. I kind of prefer that. Then the safer line is just Witness, get back the path. And then if we draw like a land... All right, well, we've got another 2 removal spells for this thing. Oh my goodness. So we're getting close to being able to cord for Deputy. Hey! Love it. 1 out of 48 cards. Why not? An opponent conceded. They're sick of my garbage. All right, so that's one of the few decks in Modern that we actually have a pretty nice matchup against. The triple agent draw on the mulligan to 6, with protection, with blossoming defense. But we had double path, rebuy path, plus Winds of Abandon, and the deck gave us the lands that we needed. So maybe we can jump in with that opponent again. Shogun Helios. Come on, he's got to be salty. He's got to want the rematch. Just pray that Mono Blue Tron guy doesn't join again, because we are as bad against Mono Blue Tron as Infect is against us. So do you guys, does your schedule change a lot in the summer? I mean, we're all in like this weird quarantine time anyway, but for me, I teach, and so a lot of kids go away on the summer. Even now, like with the quarantine, families are taking vacation, so I've got significantly more free time on my hands to do stuff like play Magic. If any of you guys don't already, Paintball, you know about this. Oh, look at this. I put... Where am I right now? I'm in the Fish Limited channel, and I told them in the Limited channel that I'm streaming. That's kind of funny. I meant to tell them over here. So anyhow, what I was going to say is, if you guys are interested in watching Vintage Cube, Stoneheart drafts, every day or every other day, something like that, and it's very entertaining. Vintage has a lot of extremely interesting cards. So yesterday he played a Reanimator deck, and it was just sick. Like the power level was ridiculous, but it only went 2-1 out of a possible 3 matches. But still, extremely entertaining. It's in the Merfolk Discord. You go to the Limited channel. And, he'll typically say when he's streaming. And no matter what channel you're in, if somebody anywhere is live, you'll see their name down here. So keep your eyes open for that, because very entertaining watching the Vintage Cube. And, it's a bunch of Merfolk guys hanging around. Like, it's a good crew. You're not going to be dealing with any bad eggs. All right, so once again, we're waiting, potentially scaring off that Infect guy from jumping back into the queue. Have any of you guys been playing with Niambi in Soul Herder yet? I have not. I played probably like, I don't know, 10 matches, not that much with Niambi, maybe more. And I didn't activate her ability, her activated ability even once yet. So it seems like if you don't build around it, it's always going to be extremely niche. This like discard a legendary card, draw 2 cards. I mean, part of the idea was that we were going to run 4 Niambis and pitch extra Niambis to the Niambi on the board. I don't know. She picks up creatures to our hand, so she works a lot better with Ether Vial lists, but she doesn't really do much by herself, right? You really need a board so there's definitely a use condition where she's pretty poor. Like if you just flash her in by herself, it's not that great. Yeah. You mean the legendary land? I mean, we have some legends, right? We have, I was talking about my 80 card list, but we have Lavinia and Venser and Uro. Uro is actually really nice synergy because if you discard it, you get to cast it from the graveyard, right? So yeah, you've got some legendary creatures, legendary cards, and then there is the Oboro. And if we really wanted to go deep on the legendary lands, we could play Minamo also, just like Merfolk does. Untap target legendary permanent comes up like once every 1,000 games or something. I actually heard that the Bant snow lists, or at least some of them, were starting to run this so that they can untap Urza, or they can untap more to the point, Uro, right? Attack with Uro, untap him, and then you've got a massive blocker. I think we have an opponent. And I don't think I've won a die roll yet today, which is kind of obnoxious. This is a keep. It's an awkward hand. And I think our opponents haven't mulliganed at all yet. Oh, wait, the Infect opponent went to 6, so not completely true. Tron again. Fun for everybody. So turn 4 Tron, but guaranteed here. Well, okay, let's see. This is pretty slow on our side. We would be pretty great to just draw Venser, but I don't think it's going to be enough to help us here. Huh. So super redundant Tron lands. And being on the draw, even if we had Venser, like we're definitely in quite a hole here. I guess we could draw a Force and just pray. Well, Path is something. I really didn't want to draw the third chord in the deck. So kind of priced into playing this Eternal Witness, I guess. You can untap and do Ulamog and just scoop, I guess. But we have, I mean, 1-drops that I can get are just like Monodorks. So maybe that's better, because if I ramp into a Monodork with Chord of Calling and they don't kill my creature next turn or my lands, then I can untap, play a land. I got 6, and I can like Chord for 3. It seems better than playing Eternal Witness. And we leave up white if they cast Ulamog and just try to destroy our Canopy Vista. We can at least respond by pathing the Ulamog. So they're going to play this mine here. Dismembering my Coatl is a little bit obnoxious. So I guess I'm going to use one of these chords. Just stick with the plan. Weird. That's such a weird play. Why would they dismember like that? If I had Ephemerate up, they'd just get wrecked. So it doesn't really matter too much here. I guess I'll grab birds. And now Karn. Make me exile a card from my hand. Interesting. So there's no way I can chord for a Deputy right here. I can like Ewit back an Ice Fang Coatl. Redundant chords. I just pitch a chord. Ugh. Okay. Well. I can get a 2-drop now with Chord, but I can also just get a 2-drop like this. So probably better just to do it like this. I already played my land. Imagine Karn's going to continue exiling things from my hand. They could also make me get rid of a land or something, I guess. Urza's Tower. Get 9 mana right now. Ugin? Walking Ballista. Why not? So yeah, change of plans. We're going to have to path this thing. Wait, they did it again? I guess they pinged the Birds of Paradise twice. That was unnecessary. Karn, maybe exile one of my lands. Like, seems like that's what I would do. Get rid of that, right? Okay, getting rid of the blue. Also decent-ish. Pass the turn. So much fun playing against Tron. Oh, another Walking Ballista. Awesome. So I'm gonna scoop. I'm gonna go to sideboarding. Then I guess I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Double Walking Ballista, Natural Tron, or Redundant Tron, not Natural Tron. Pithing Needles, Ceremonious Rejection. Collector Oof, Disdainful Stroke. All good stuff. Niambi has been coming out like every match. Uro, not very relevant. Thragtusk, not relevant. I like Urian. It's slow, but whatever. Stonehorn, not important. Trim one path. And we'll trim... I don't know. Trim one Soul Herder. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a sec. All right, so 3 matches so far today. 2 of them Tron, 1 of them not Tron. You like to think that in the queues you're going to play against fun and interesting decks, but you just come up against like the most hyper efficient, broken decks possible. Well, this is unfortunate. If one of these was an island, this would be a snap keep. But neither of them is an island. I mean, So it's got the relevant interaction. We can even potentially rebuy it with Eternal Witness. So with hands like this, you need to do some quick math and sort of think about what your chances are against Tron in general, particularly what your chances are against Tron if you mulligan, versus what your odds are of drawing a blue source, like any fetch that can get a blue source. So if I draw a blue source off the top of my deck, this hand is really solid. I even have a couple turns, if they only have one payoff, to get to this Disdainful Stroke, and then again, we can rebuy it with Eternal Witness. You're Ryan a little bit dead, so in a sense, you can kind of consider this a mulligan to 6 already. It's very sketchy. We need white at some point to turn on Path to Exile, but a fetch just gets a Hallowed Fountain. I could also just mulligan and draw more sideboard hate. Things like Pithing Needle, Collector Oof. So what do you guys think, given all of those sort of variables, given that we have a very poor matchup against Tron, we do have, a relevant counterspell. We've got mana to cast Eternal Witness, provided we draw any other land here. You're going to be taking a risk on a mulligan. So is it better to take the risk on keeping this hand? Curious to know your guys' thoughts. I'll give you like 10 seconds or something. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and make my own decision. Pour my water in the meantime. All right, doesn't look like we have any strong opinions, so I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice. I say F-Tron. They're going to have the nuts anyway. They kept 7. So come on, fetch land off the top. Okay, not yet. Another draw step. So Tron land into Sylvan Scrying, Blast Zone. Wow. Hey. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and play a Coiling Oracle here because the opponent is not threatening Tron anytime soon. Sick. Okay, so, we have Disdainful Stroke online anyway right now. We could just go get a Hallowed Fountain and play the other Coiling Oracle. That seems like the best approach to me. Again, we're not going to be casting Disdainful Stroke next turn. Are they going? What is happening here? They're going to Spatial Contortion, the Coiling Oracle. We can actually get Hallowed Fountain. Canopy Vista here if we wanted to. We've already got triple green. Probably better just to get the Shock Land. Opponent representing Spatial Contortion, but we don't have Ephemerate anyway, so whatever. Okay, well that went pretty well overall. I think it was the correct call to keep that hand, but none of you guys were actually talking to me about it, so I'm not sure you guys are even aware of the situation here. Ancient Stirrings is better for us than straight up Sylvan Scrying because they're clearly looking for lands here, and they found one. So now we can hold up Chord and we can hold up Disdainful Stroke. I'm going to go to attacks. I feel like I haven't drawn any Ephemerates today. Start the clock ticking. Oh, wait. This is poor. This is poor. It drew out a Spatial Contortion, but I was trying to leave up a Chord, but lost track of it for a second. Now it's really just holding up Disdainful Stroke. So now I think I'm going to run out Witness and buy back a land. And I guess I'll just go grab a basic island. And it looks like I've played my land drop because I've got so many lands, but that was actually all from the Coiling Oracles. So now we're starting to get somewhere. Okay, they naturally have Tron. Awesome. But we can Disdainful Stroke and then Eternal Witness the Disdainful Stroke. Are we going to take a game off of Tron today? Do have a Ceremonious Rejection in the mix as well. And now, well, that's a decent draw. We can actually chord for Venser. I mean, Urian is also kind of online here. But I'd rather get one more land before I go for Urian. So I think the best play here is just to play another Eternal Witness, get back Disdainful Stroke. Now, if I chord for 3, I can get a Soul Herder and start rebuying nice stuff with Eternal Witness, but we do have to wait until the opponent's end step. Get Soul Herder, can blink an Eternal Witness and get back the chord, which can then get like Venser. Opponent has already used a Spatial Contortion. Sanctum of Ugin. Gonna keep the gas flowing. So kind of want him to tap out for something. Go get something with Sanctum of Ugin. And then I'm gonna get the. Oh, actually, hold on. I have to counter this, so I can't get Soul Herder just yet. So let's see what they get with the Sanctum of Ugin. I can also just chord for something that deals with Karn. Oh, Sundering Titan. Well, we do have the Disdainful Stroke. So I can chord. Disdainful Stroke this next turn. Chord for Soul Herder, and still have 2 mana up at least. So yeah, definitely Disdainful Stroking this. I kind of want to start cracking in, but we kind of need to establish a bit more of a lock first. So I need to leave up 2 mana, right? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can attack with 1 Eternal Witness and still leave up Disdainful Stroke. Seems okay. They're kind of representing Dismember here. In which case, I could definitely get blown out. But I need that Disdainful Stroke back. So I could also just chord. Could also just leave one of these chords up for Venser on their turn. Well, chording for Witness is a little bit conservative. I feel like I can chord for Venser on their turn to bounce whatever they play, and then chord for, and then play Urian actually. So Okay, so if I'm going to chord for Venser, it's... Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pass, I think. 1, 2, 3. Well, if I'm going all in on Venser, I guess I would do... I should attack. 1, 2, 3. Attack with some creatures. But they could dismember one. I'll just attack with one. That gives me a margin of error. Now, hang on a second. Can I do Venser now? Nah, I can't do Venser, chord for Venser, and play Urian on this turn. That would be too much. But, if they go for, like, Dismember right now, I should probably just get Soulherder. I mean, it'd be kind of a weird Dismember. If they dismember exactly the attacking Eternal Witness, then I can chord for Soulherder and still have up 2 for Disdainful Stroke. All right, we know they have the Sundering Titan in hand. And now they've got, like, a ton of mana. Okie dokie, so now we chord. But if they dismember the Venser, then that's pretty gross. But maybe not the end of the world. I guess we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Man, where are those Ephemerates at? I would love to be able to protect these creatures in this spot. Collector Oof is kind of good, but we know they have that crazy thing in hand. Here, I think just... I can chord for Eternal Witness, get back... Chord for Eternal Witness, get back Disdainful Stroke, just play around the Dismember possibility. Get back Disdainful Stroke, and then next turn I can play Urian, get back whatever I want, basically. So, chording for Witness takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should be able to attack with 2 things. Could play the Collector Oof as well. I think playing Collector Oof seems pretty good. I can tap him for chord, right? Two, 3. I need to leave 2 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. All right, all 3 Eternal Witnesses putting in work here. I guess I could Disdainful Stroke this, right? No, I probably just want to path this thing. Doesn't really matter. We'd really love another land here, actually. So I could actually path one of my dorks just to get another land. Kind of like that, actually. Because we want to play Urian, blink all our stuff, and still hold up Disdainful Stroke. But I could path this Thragtusk also seems pretty good, right? But I can get the path back when I play Urian, so... Remember that they have the Sundering Titan. Pithing Needle's a good one. I might just name Blast Zone right now so that we don't have to deal with that at all. But first things first, I do want to just cast Urian, I think. So now we have a flying threat, which is kind of nice. So now we have Niambi in hand. I mean, we have Niambi with Cord. Actually, I boarded her out, I think. So, what kind of tricks do I have here? I don't have Resto in the deck. We really want to get a Soul Herder on the table. Karn liberated. They don't have enough for Karn plus. They already played their land again. Orbs of what? You have hexproof. If a creature deal damage, prevent 1. All right, that's fine. I don't care. They have hexproof. Okay, so I think we're gonna get a Soul Herder here. Sorry, hang on. I'll go to their end step. Okay, well that's interesting. I am just naming Blast Zone. And yeah, feel pretty good about this spot. I can attack with everybody, and then when they block with Thragtusk, I can just path Thragtusk. Might as well attack with Soul Herder because it's going to get a little bit bigger. Okay, and then I think we're just going to blink everything except Soul Herder with Urian. And maybe we can leave the... God, I forget how this goes. Actually, I don't think it matters too much. All right, that seems good. Got a lot of mana. The only thing I really care about countering is like Ugin or that Sundering Titan that's coming again. We could also ephemerate Urian to tuck creatures away. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, and they played their land 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can counter this. Another Karn, which is Xaxes. If they go for Urian, that's kind of the nuts. It's my flying threat, so it kind of makes sense. Oh, but they only have 6 mana, I think, right? Another Thragtusk. That's kind of annoying. Okay. So we know they have a Karn and a Sundering Titan in hand. They gained 5 life. We're going to get a bunch of creatures back. I'm gonna run out of time. I'm just fully aware of it. All these triggers just take way too long to click. I think we might just have lethal here. Maybe I have to bounce this Orbs of blah blah blah. Also, Ephemerate is just a counterspell with Venser, so I'm probably going to keep it in hand alongside the Disdainful Stroke. And I think I can just get in with everything here again. I don't really, except for the Venser maybe. I could chord for another Soul Herder, but whatever. We're running out of time, so damage is kind of important. I could Venser, pick up Pithing Needle, and name Karn. But I don't think it matters. I think we're pretty good here. And I'm not going to blink. I'm not going to blink Urian here. I don't really need to. Hey, Sesben, thank you for gifting that subscription. That's awesome. So opponent goes for Karn. I'm gonna Disdainful Stroke that thing. I could also just Ephemerate the Eternal Witness and buy back the Disdainful Stroke, which also seems pretty good. So they're going for the Sundering Titan here, completely tapping out, which is kind of nice. It means that they can't really dismember. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And Sundering Titan's not really getting them out of this anyway. And the last card in hand is Karn, so pretty nice. We got there in at least one game against Tron. I'm gonna take another quick break, so I'll be back in just a second. So I'm not sure if you guys remember, because I'm not sure how many of you guys were actually listening when I was talking about this stuff. But in that game that we just won, the opening hand had 2 forests and no other lands, it had Disdainful Stroke and Eternal Witness. And that's a pretty powerful thing to have against Tron. I think it might have also had Venser. It definitely had a path, I think. So we were weird on the mana, but you have to weigh the pros and cons of mulliganing. And really, like, the percentages of getting a good hand against Tron while mulliganing to 6 and potentially lower versus the odds of just, like, top decking any blue land, right? To be able to... I think I also had a Coiling Oracle for sure. So I chose to keep the hand because it had the relevant interaction with a Disdainful Stroke. And we drew some lands. And we pretty easily controlled that game, I think. No, Susben, I think that I have to focus and this is another one, but I have no lands, so I do have to mulligan. And this is the aggro game because I'm 8 minutes behind on time. Opponent is keeping 7 again. So annoying. I have to mulligan past it. I have Force with no blue card. Have to mulligan to 5. It's pretty terrible. All right, well, this is playable at least, even if it's pretty bad. We're going to keep Forest, Hierarch. I believe I took out the Siege Rhino, and I kept it in, so black could be relevant. We've got the birds. Okay, we're going to keep this. We're going to bottom this, and we're going to bottom that. All right, well, keeping one land against Tron when we could have kept more seems definitely bold, but I have no time. We need creatures. Misty is okay, I guess. We still don't have a blue card to pitch to Force. Next turn, we can have Force online if we choose not to play our birds, but I feel like we probably have to play the birds. I need to learn more about how donating subs actually works. I'm not sure who the subs go to. Well, Ephemerate is kind of interesting. They did not play a land, right? I think they missed a land drop. I think they're just... Oh, wait. I should attack. Attack. Now if we draw Venser, like, we are sort of sitting pretty. They could potentially never have Tron during the whole game. Come on. Come on. Don't do it. Don't draw it. Yes, come on. Whew. Come on, Venser. You know you want to come out and play. I'm not going to complain about that. Come on, let's pull ahead. That was a blue card that I could have used to pitch to Force, but you know we need to develop a bit of a board. More exciting than I thought it was going to be. Let's go deck. We got to punish this Tron player for keeping 7 with 1 land. Unacceptable. Oh man, that's pretty good. I think I almost have to Force, like, if they, I don't know. Let's see what they play. Come on. No lands. Okay, do I Force this or do I chill? I think I'm going to let it resolve. We can start holding up Hardcast Force. That needs to get countered. Oh my god, deck. Now we just need an Eternal Witness, and we're cooking with gas. Opponent has to discard the hand size. Is that what's happening here? Is that truly what's happening? I'm going to Ephemerate this. If they have spot removal, whatever. I want to keep pulling ahead here. Nice. Come on. Come on. Oh, this is sick. Okay. We're going to play this Coatl right away. In this situation, playing Coatl is the same as playing Oracle. That's nice. And actually, we can't attack because we have to continue holding up Disdainful Stroke, but it's sort of fine. You know how Tron loves ripping those perfect draws off the top. 3 for Oblivion Stone. Well, they need 2 more lands to actually do something with that. And we can draw into a Chord for Collector Oof. Maybe I should have played like a Coiling Oracle first to see if I want a Chord for something. Okay, okay, don't hit Tron right now, please. Just miss it for 1 turn. Just miss it for 1 turn. Thank you, opponent. Oh my god, this is hot. Okay, so now I'm just going to Venser their Oblivion Stone right now and leave up Disdainful Stroke. Actually, leaving up Disdainful Stroke is sort of irrelevant since... Oh, I can bounce lands as well. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bounce lands, and we're going to win. Guys, we did it. 5 minutes against Tron. Okay, they play the mine out again. Come on. Yes. Opponent has to discard. That's nice. And I'm pretty sure this is just game over. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, I'm not gonna play anything. What do you got, opponent? You got nothing. Is it just settling in like right now? Just realizing after you play your land that you actually can't do anything? All right, yes. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my god. Opponent kept 7. We mulligan to 5. I'm gonna watch that again. So good, so good. Yes. It's like the lowest stakes possible, like we're playing for like $2. But it's Tron, right? It's like beating Tron, just one of life's great pleasures. All right, so no lands in that hand. 1 land in that hand. And then we kept a hand with just like Dorks and Force. How did this develop? So I put 2 lands to the bottom. Opponent's got that star, but really, I mean, the headline here is that the opponent kept 1 land, which is like ridiculously cocky. Suspen, if you actually want to donate to my channel, I think one way that people do it is with PayPal, and so I need to like actually put like my Merfolk Joe email address at PayPal or something and sort of figure out how to do that. So I'm sorry there's no obvious way to do that, but anything like subscriptions or donating subscriptions is always extremely appreciated. All right, so opponent just had these stars. This is their second turn. They were looking for lands. They missed it. We got to play our Dorks and swing in. And then we just started drawing snakes, which is like awesome. All right, missing lands. We got a Hallowed Fountain, snakes, more forces. Opponent still missing. Okay, they found a land. We countered that. Seemed relevant. If we didn't counter that, they They would have had to crack it on their turn. Possible that like right here, they would have had to pay 2 to crack the Oblivion Stone. So they probably wouldn't have been able to actually play anything, because the land that they would have gotten wouldn't have been able to cast like Oblivion Stone, since it would only make 2 mana. We ephemerate the snake, it resolved. Drew another snake, pretty awesome. Opponent discards an Ulamog. 2 more snakes. Draw a land. Like the deck really just treated us really well in this game. Oblivion Stone didn't really matter. And then like the most important of all, I guess, is drawing the Venser, which I guess is next turn. Play another snake. Play another snake. Deputy, right? Just like amazing. Venser a land. Hold up, ephemerate if the opponent has any tricks. They don't, so bounce that land, bounce another land. Crack in for 4, and yeah, the deal is sealed. Oh man, that was a very, very satisfying game of Magic right there. And we had like 5 minutes, so we had 5 minutes on the clock. We mulliganed to 5. The opponent kept 7, and we just completely kicked their ass. So sweet. So we're actually 2-1 for the day, remarkably. Losing to Bluetron, which might just be a worse matchup for us than Greentron. Like the fact that they can sort of selectively counter our important spells is pretty relevant. So Niambiherder has actually been pretty poor so far. I mean, we've just been sideboarding her out nonstop. But then again, we haven't really had reason to go and chord for Prince yet. Like it hasn't really presented itself as something that we want to do. And Niambiherder was just sort of being substituted for Prince as a way to gain life like Prince, and as a way to get extra value out of our creatures. Prince blinks the creature, Niambiherder bounces it to our hand and gains life, right? So kind of combines a couple of things that Prince does. But she has Flash, which is always appreciated. And she has that sort of niche activated ability that can let us tap and pitch something legendary to draw 2 cards. So she's just, I don't know. I like Flash a lot. And even though we often get Charming Prince with Chord of Calling, which effectively gives him Flash, you know, we'll never know how good Niambiherder is until we play it for a couple months or something. So maybe some of the people in here, like Paintball Demon, are you listening now, Paintball Demon? Do you know how gifting subs works? So it looks like it says, Sespen's gift shared rewards to 5 others in chat. And right now there's only 5 people in chat. There might have been 7 people in chat at that point. And so I guess all 5 people who were watching me at that point got a subscription, which is pretty awesome. So I don't know if you guys haven't been using my emotes in a while, but remember we have like a laughing soul herder emote. We have a Urian sort of cutout emote, and the other one is the barcode ephemerate emote. So actually I have them all in Discord. So let's see, it was like what was that one? I have to look it up. Am I waiting for an opponent? I think I am, yeah. Where's the emotes? I think it's at server settings. Emojis. Lion code. Yeah, so we've got that emote, we've got this emote, and we've got, what's the other one? I think it's Sololol. Yeah, that one. Yeah, so you guys know about it. I need to make more. I've been playing a lot of Merfolk lately, and my name is Merfolk Joe, so I feel like the Merfolk needs some love with some emojis, but I've actually been limited. I have not won a die roll today. It's so annoying. But this is a good hand, so you can't really complain. I think I'll probably open Temple Garden into Bird's Paradise, get something blue with Windswept Heath. Opponent's keeping 7. Again, my opponents have not been mulliganing very much at all. Hopefully this guy just keeps a 1-land hand like the Tron player. So Shadow, we should be good. We're going to outvalue Shadow. I love that this is a game that we can just know what they're doing just based on like one random card that they play. Now, they could totally just like push my Birds of Paradise, which is kind of fine. We'd like to draw another land or two in this spot. Nothing that they're going to cast next turn, like we would even think about forcing. Force actually comes out against Death Shadow after sideboarding. That's fine. Like using push on a birds instead of like Soul Herder is actually pretty sweet for us. All right. Another Thoughtseize maybe? Tarmogoyf. All right, well, that's a bit of a clock. A little scary. Particularly since we're taking all this damage with our shocks and fetches and whatnot. So yeah, I think the play here is to just get Hallowed Fountain. And I'm going to go with Oracle. We're going to take our beats from Tarmogoyf next turn. If we hit a land here, that's pretty sensational, because then we can go for the Ghost block. Well, you know, I'm not going to complain about having extra Ephemerates. Opponent knows about one of them at this point. So is this one of those hands where they just have like 2 or 3 lands and just like nonstop gas? Pretty happy to take 3 against Tarmogoyf here. We can represent, well, we can actually hold up double Ghost block against Tarmogoyf. He doesn't, what's happening here? Cling to Dust. Right, so he's just cycling this right now just to get an instant into the graveyard, but there's already an instant in the graveyard, like, okay. Nice timing, opponent. Land, give me land, give me a forest, give me an island. Don't give me a 5-drop. Like, I feel like whenever I ask for land, I get 5 drops. So I think I know the play here. I could be really greedy and go for Ice Fang. It's nowhere close to having Death Touch at this point. We would just love to have like a Ghost block resolve. So it could potentially counter removal. Let's see how it goes. It's hard to outvalue Shadow if we don't have lands. Like, if we hit our land drops, like, imagine what we would be doing right now. Like, playing Coatls, Ephemerating, playing Soul Herder. All right, so does opponent have 2 ways to stop an Ephemerate? We're going to find out. Actually, 3 ways, because I've got the Force of Negation. We'll probably just pitch this Urian since it's, like, super irrelevant. So almost certainly has to be like a push or something like that, like to start things off. And right now, like if they have some response, it's just trading 1 for 1, but they don't have it. That's amazing. And another force. It's pretty bad, as I said. We tend to sideboard things out, but now I can go for another Ephemerate, go for like ultra value. And if they have for somehow now like another removal spell, what's happening here? Oh, go try to kill my Oracle. Oh, I thought they were gonna like. Tapped? Yes? No. All right, I'm going to be a little bit greedy. I'm going to go for the double Ephemerate here. We need to sort of catch up, I think. And we'd love for this to hit a land. And we would do force, pitching force, I think, in this spot. Opponent's getting pretty low on cards. All right, are they going for something? Looks like they're going for something. But what instant speed do they have? Or they have like a Drowned in the Lock? Stubborn Denial. Well, he didn't have the removal, so we're going to catch right back up on cards if this resolves. Ah, that's beautiful. Okay. And since we kind of want to draw lands and also turn on Death Touch, but we need 2 more lands to do that. But we can just cast Soul Herder on our turn. So yeah, whatever. I don't need to crack this yet. I am going to get a basic. It's just like running lands from this Oracle would be amazing. Thragtusk is not terrible, but we do want to get lands on the battlefield. Let's go. Land off Oracle, land for the draw. Okay, well, we did dig deep enough to get to lands. So, what's the play here? Opponent looks really light on removal, so we could try to do another ghost block where we block and then chord for Niambi. But since we've got a Soul Herder, it feels like taking some, or maybe we even chump next turn or something, just to save a little bit of damage. Play a Soul Herder, blink the Oracle, and then next turn we can like chord for Witness, and then things should like be really quite good for us. Alternatively, I could just play like 2 Oracles, like Oracle and Ice Fang here, and just like draw cards, make sure that we can get to Thragtusk. Pretty good options all around, I think. I think I prefer the line that just draws the most cards, so I think I'm just going to go with like Oracle and then Coatl. Need to be a little bit careful here because this can only get like a breeding pool. So why don't I start by casting the first Oracle? Maybe I'll hit a basic island or something. Okay, so I think now we just wait to the opponent's turn. We have to get a breeding pool, and we'll flash in a Coatl, and maybe we will maybe we'll draw land. That's the plan. But if we've got all these cards jamming up the top of our deck, we really do want to dig down to, well, opponent's got that like 8 millionth land, which is pretty nice for us. All right, so let's go for this Coatl here. We're going to go down to 9. Which is kind of rough. It's getting a little bit sketchy. But we've got Thragtusk, right? And the opponent, they only have like Stubborn Denial, which can't really interact with creatures. This thing does not have Death Touch. Not even close. Uro is pretty good. They could have a Bolt to finish me off, so I'm definitely going to throw one of these guys under the bus. And we should be safe. Opponent could have tricks. But I do think that Uro is the play here now, unless... What's going on here? Liliana? That would actually be pretty... Oh, Lurrus is fine, right? They have Lurrus in their main deck. That's kind of wild. Well, we're not drawing lands, which is pretty frustrating. Uro gives me another draw. It gains life. Gets me closer to lands. I could also chord here, but it just leaves me like so weak. I really getting at this point getting Stonehorn would be really, really good. So that's something we want to just try to survive for a turn, and then chord for Stonehorn Dignitary. So we could play Uro or just Soul Herder. Like we could attack with Ice Fang and then blink the Ice Fang with Soul Herder. Uro gains life, draws cards. Seems pretty good. But it doesn't actually add creatures to the battlefield. But if we just cast Uro next turn, it's pretty good. But I think I'm going to go with Soul Herder. Going to attack with the Coatl, blink the Coatl. Blinking Oracle is kind of nice because if it hits a land, it goes straight to the battlefield. But in this case, like just chipping in for 1 point of damage. Actually, it's 2 points of damage. You know, what are they going to recast from the graveyard next turn? They don't really have anything. So let's attack for 2. Play the Soul Herder. Pretty sure the opponent doesn't have removal here. And we'll go ahead and blink that Ice Fang Coatl, which is still very far from Death Touch. Land, we got a land. Okay, so let's live through the opponent's turn, try to keep Soul Herder alive, and then we play the land, and we should have, if I chump with something, anything. Just chump with one thing. I go down. Oh wait, I have to chump with two things. That's annoying. Well, let's see how they attack. Be interesting if they attack with the Lurrus, because I would probably trade with the Soul Herder here. Just we need to get creatures off the board. That's unfortunate that we're at 6. But we're not just out of this yet. I feel like I can't really trade off the Soul Herder yet. It's gonna grow big enough soon. Like if I draw, well, anyhow, I do have land. We could play Orion next turn, and that's a big blocker. Actually, we've got Thragtusk in the pipeline. Actually, hang on a sec. Gaining life is sort of clutch here. So I think Thragtusk is the line next turn. Like Ephemerate would be amazing. But I think I kind of have to throw the Hierarch away to keep value. You know, I'm going to gain so much life off this Thragtusk. I'd rather keep my mana going, so I'll take 3. If they have a Bolt as the last card in hand, it would be like mind-blowing, but no. What is happening here? Ugh, come on. Lot of talking, but on my side, but we were so close, guys. We were stuck on those 2 lands forever, but think about what next turn would have been if they just had another land in hand. We would have played Thragtusk and gained 10 life with Soul Herder, gotten a little Thragtusk baby. Frustrating loss there, but we have some really good sideboard stuff. We are going to take out the Force of Negations. Veil of Summer is pretty nutty. I think Spore Frog's even worth it. Creates potential loops. Burrenton is not good enough. Celestial Purge is amazing. Actually, all these white removal spells are coming in. And I think that's about it. Niambi, good for gaining life, good for ghost blocking. She might want to stay in the deck. I think Uro is sort of the nuts in this matchup. We were just too far behind there. Knight can come out. Deputy is interesting. It doesn't die to Kolaghan's command, but it dies to almost everything else. And I don't really like it that much, so I'll trim Deputy here. I don't know. I like, what is Niambi doing? I'm gonna trim Niambi. Soul Herder is really good. Orion could have been good. It's pretty slow. It is a lot of value, but it's pretty slow. I don't know that we're gonna have time for Orion. Trim 1 Soul Herder, and we've got 1 more card left to trim. I like the dorks here because we can like ramp out like Worship or Teferi. So the last card we're going to trim is Rhino's nice because they get their life total really low and you can just kill them with like a Lightning Helix. I'll just trim 1 Oracle. I'll run it like that. That was an unfortunate loss, like a very unfortunate loss. They needed Lightning Bolt or Battle Rage. All right, this is definitely workable. If they take the Coatl out of our hand with like a Thoughtseize, it feels pretty bad. But we've got mana, we've got spells. Okay, opponent keeps 7. So let's see if they go for the push or for the Thoughtseize or Inquisition. I think I'd prefer for them to go for the push. We'd love to get this Coatl on the table. We could even just get basics. All right, so it's Inquisition, which is rough, but we've got 6 more snakes in the deck after they take this Coatl. We can also just untap and draw into like a nice 3-drop, like Eternal Witness will get back the Ice Fang Coatl. Opponent gonna look at the top of my deck. Hopefully they see an Eternal Witness. An Ephemerate. Not that amazing. We can go basic here and then get our Canopy Vista, but we do need to get blue mana going, so probably just this into Hallowed Fountain, I'd guess, is the play. So as I said, if they took the Ice Fang, the hand starts to look significantly worse. But we've all played against Inquisition and Thoughtseize before, so... yeah, I take what they want here, you know? Like, I could cast Ephemerate and then make sure it gets to the graveyard, but not very important. Alright, and so opponent's development is pretty slow here. Not really sure I even want to attack with the Spore Frog and lower the opponent's life total. Alright, we're just going to keep thinning the deck for the time being. And yeah, I am not going to attack with the Spore Frog. The math is different in Merfolk because we're kind of an aggressive deck, and we don't care that we push the opponent's life total down towards 13, where they can start casting Death Shadows. This is where I'll cast the Ephemerate. Like, if they want to, like, kill the Spore Frog in response. Actually, you know what? This is stupid. It doesn't matter at all. It's really stupid. I was thinking for some reason it was going to stay exiled, so that was just like a total brain fart. So now I have to target it again, and it really has zero effect. But it's just kind of, maybe I'm messing with the opponent. For some reason, yeah, I was thinking like it was gonna somehow get exiled if they took it out of my hand, but it's gonna end up in the graveyard anyway. And as I mentioned, I'm not going to attack with the Spore Frog right now anyway. That was a very nice draw. But it does need to hit something else to be very good. And that counts as something else. Yes, deck. Yes. All right, so, I mean, things looking decent here. We can cast Uro as long as they don't kill the birds. Spore Frog representing on our side of the board. Killing the birds. Can't blame them. Decent play. We need to establish some value, so we're gonna go for Soul Herder. They can establish Revolt with the Mishra's Bauble to kill the Soul Herder, which is unfortunate. We did not draw a blue land, which I would have loved to have done. I think that we are inevitably favored the longer the game goes. So I'm just gonna play this Soul Herder out, and we'll keep this in hand just to make them burn, like removal, hand disruption. So let's see if we can. I'm gonna F6 right now, and let's see if the opponent sort of doesn't do anything until the end step. Come on, don't do it. Wait till the end step. Wait till the end step. Okay. So they're looking at my top deck. Oh, hey, they don't have another push. Or maybe they do, and they just don't really know what's going on. Looks like they don't. Well, this is amazing. I had to tap my lands like this. Had to tap my lands like this because I needed blue and white. Opponent finally getting green mana online for a Tarmogoyf, but we are what? Just continuing to accrue value, I guess. Pile it up. I really, really want a blue land. We can. Are they? What's happening here? Liliana? Oh, Luris. Okay. Well, Luris gets to play Bobble again, which is sort of okay. For now. It's okay for now. I think he already looked at my top deck. Possible that we. Let's see. We might be able to trick him eventually by attacking with a 3/3. They might want to trade with Luris, and then we can ephemerate something to make Soul Herder grow into a 4/4. Just blue land here. Any blue land, please. Well, Path is actually quite nice. I could have pathed one of my own creatures to get blue land, but we've got a lot of lands in the deck. It'll happen. I could ephemerate now, but I feel like ephemerate is like anti-removal in this situation. So I'll just attack. And since we have a body here now with backup, I feel like it's okay to attack, even though I was saying I didn't want to attack earlier. Coatl is quite a nice draw, but we can't cast both Ephemerate and Coatl. So we'll see how it goes. No red mana. Oh, are they going for Dismember here? Let's see if they... I'm definitely going to Ephemerate. And if they have a counter that actually does something... If they have Mystical Dispute, that would be a bummer since I'm keeping a land in hand. I have 2 to pay for the Stubborn Denial. Sorry, one to pay for the Stubborn Denial. Well, that resolved. Possibly the opponent has more removal, I guess. All right, so and then we get to rebound on Oracle, hopefully hit that blue land. And if it's like a blue basic, we'll turn on Death Touch. We do have the Spore Frog just chilling here. Oh, are they gonna... Oh, they're gonna counter this now, huh? Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't think there's a lot I can do against this. Oh, Teferi is nice. Like, more than nice. We are still shy on blue mana, but we'll draw a card off Teferi, right? So maybe like an island? Oh, Vista. Decent. Now we attack with everybody. Hit that island. Oh, Purge is like, I don't know, it's even better than Island. Opponent knows about the Purge, though. What's happening here? Traverse. So they get to play 2 Death Shadows? It's kind of scary, but they don't have red mana. Okay, play the second one so I can Purge it. Okay. Is opponent... What are they conceding? Huh. Interesting. I don't think we were quite at a concession there, but... Another Teferi, pretty bad draw. Oh, worship. All right, so going to game 3. Give me a second. So how are you guys doing? You've been pretty quiet in the chat for the last, it's like a half an hour or something. Maybe my chat is broken. Okay, well, we'll be on the draw against Death Shadow in Game 3, but it should be a favorable matchup in general. Remember that we started with a decent hand, and they immediately disrupted it with Thoughtseize. They took our only interesting creature. We were left with a birds, which they pushed, and a spore frog, which didn't really do anything. Okay, well, this hand looked bad at first, but then I saw it had the second land there. I thought that was another snake or something. So I think I have to keep this hand. The mana is a little bit awkward, but we're on the draw, and that's one of the benefits of being on the draw is you do get to see more cards sooner. So I'm sure this Oracle is just out of our hand. I'm treating it as if I don't have it. But Worship is a bomb. If we get to it, it's virtually impossible for them to beat it. What time is it where you are? Is it 9 o'clock? Are you in Germany? I forget what country you said you were in, if you mentioned it. All right, what do you take, opponent? If they got more disruption, you take the Worship now and then the Inquisition and take the Oracle a little bit later. In this spot, really, snakes and lands are the best draws off the top. Just let Yorion know right now it is not a snake. We do not want Yorion. So please know. Oh, well, that was actually a decent draw. Denmark, cool, 9 p.m. Well, Spore Frog on the beatdown plan. Or the anti-beatdown plan, but we're getting closer to. I'd like to draw a Dork actually here, just really try to ramp into this Worship. We also have Eternal Witnesses to buy back Worship if the opponent is on the hand disruption plan. They're looking at the top of my deck. And I feel like this is another situation where I'm probably not going to attack. Just gonna wait a little bit. Maybe the opponent is reading Worship again. I didn't know that there was a ban announcement on Monday. Is it specifically a Modern announcement, or is it a broad, format, multi-format announcement? Is this a Tarmogoyf? Opponent does not know about this island, but they're just passing. It's weird. Maybe they're going to try to get my Spore Frog with Snapcaster or something. Or no. They're also just trying to get their life total down, right? And if they're not pressuring my life total, I could even see, well, there's the fourth land. This is now going to get white. Wow. I don't know. I hope they ban Astrolabe because the card is stupid. And beyond that, I don't know. Nothing is nothing is super obvious. So let's play this and just pass the turn. Opponent might do something with their mana, but don't really expect them to. Next turn, we can cast an Eternal Witness, buy back a Snake. If we can just get a bunch of creatures on the battlefield, fight with Eternal Witnesses to get Worship, on the board. I was starting to say a moment ago, we might actually wait until we have extra mana to cast the Worship so that we could pay for Stubborn Denial. Possible I should not even cast these Witnesses unless it's specifically to get back Worship, right? Hopefully draw something I can play next turn. Play Worship. They counter it. Oh, they're dismembering the Spore Frog? That's sort of ridiculous, just to get their life total down. All right, well, shield's down for a second. Now they play the Death Shadow. Oh, well, Traverse. And it looks like they don't have a land, but maybe they have to be searching for Death Shadow here. All right, well, no land yet. So that gives us an extra turn, which is sick. Snake is interesting. I could just do Eternal Witness. You know what? I could play the Vista. No, but I want to use that to get white. So the opponent did not have a third land drop, which is kind of a big deal. We know they're going to play the Shadow next turn, and they could leave up mana to counter the worship with Stubborn Denial. But then we have ways to get it back with Eternal Witness. Because what if I go like Oracle here? Maybe we just want to just get a bunch of snakes. Like, play a Witness here. Get back Coiling Oracle. I don't know. It's tricky. I feel like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to play the Oracle here. Keep the Eternal Witnesses in hand to fight over Worship. In which case, I probably want to lead with the Oracle rather than cracking a fetch land. So I'm gonna do Oracle now. Ephemerate was a possible draw that we could have hit there. And I can Ephemerate now, or, you know what, actually, I'm going to pass to the opponent's turn. Hopefully they don't have a third land. Play the Death Shadow. I go for Ephemerate. Maybe they probably wouldn't Stubborn Denial it if they had it because, okay, they do have a third land. We'll see how relevant it is. Now remember, Worship does need creatures on the battlefield to actually matter. Now, they could remove it right now. But you know what? I think I might just chill, play Eternal Witness, get back a land, hold up, continue to hold up Ephemerate to protect stuff. Yeah, that's what I was looking for right there. So they did just top deck that land. Now that I have this land, I think I'm probably better off just getting like a Spore Frog or something. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Although Oracle just keeps fighting along like the card advantage axis, but with these Witnesses and Ephemerate, Spore Frog does represent kind of like a Stonehorn-esque kind of situation. If the opponent blinks first here, and I Ephemerate and it resolves, what did they... Oh, they're exiling this. I could blink the Eternal Witness, but honestly, it's really not that important. Death Shadow down. Oh my god. That was... Maybe they almost killed their own Death Shadow by gaining life there. They're down to 3 cards. I am going to attempt to ghost... Well, I'm going to, attempt to ghost block with the Oracle. If they want to counter it, totally fine with me. I can untap and... untap and cast Worship. And then we should be sitting pretty. I guess they're getting red mana here, right? Just to turn it on. Blood Crypt. Maybe I should have brought in Magus of the Moon. Is that actually in my sideboard? I don't think it is in this sideboard. Oh, they didn't get red mana. Interesting. All right, so let's see what they've got, you know? Make them fight over it. Okay, there's one Stubborn Denial. And we're not taking any damage here, which is good for us, obviously. If they do have 3 mana here, which looks like it could be like a Liliana, which would be rough. All right. So, I mean, I could just do... I kind of like just playing... Like, Eternal Witness, get back Ephemerate, right? And just keep fighting. And then at a certain point, we can cast the Worship. Okay, and remember, they're not really pressuring our life total yet. So I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to accelerate their clock. They know I have the Ephemerate in hand. They know I have the Worship in hand. We're going to let this resolve. Okay, they're down to 2 cards. They've already cast 1 counterspell. Possible I could have just cast Ephemerate there, like right away, and then get the rebound, but taking damage for the time being. All right. So if they have exactly... Oh my god. I have a feeling we're going to get this countered, which is so rough. We had the 2 Eternal Witnesses. Damn it. All right, well, we're still not dead yet. Actually, if I get in 4 here, assuming, like, let's say that they need to get down to 1 life to kill me. I feel like we've got attacks here. It's gonna make this thing a 10-10, right? So they're gonna go down to 3. If they have a shock land in hand, that's exactly lethal. It's so rough. But a fetch doesn't do it, right? Because I attack, they go to 4, 3, and then 2, and then it would just be 11 with a Death Shadow. You know what? Whatever. If the last card in their hand or the card off the top of the deck is exactly a shock land, because I don't really see us winning just by chumping. Now I could draw like a Soul Herder, which is value, another Eternal Witness. But we can't just sit back, I think. So let's do it. You guys can let me know why or why not I'm sort of mistaken in my attack here. All right. So they got a 10-10. Show me the shock land. They've been light on lands all game, right? So of course they could play another creature too. That's something that could get me, I guess. It looks like they have another creature too. So are we going to go down to 2 life here? And I guess I'm going to crack my Windswept Heath to give myself better draws. They can look at my top deck, but I'm going to shuffle it away. And then they could laugh at me because it's like the best possible top deck or something. So, do they have removal? Is that what they're showing me here? I mean, push is their go-to. Dismember, they could hardcast Dismember. I don't think there's any way I get punished for going to 1 life here, so let's play the odds. I do have a Siege Rhino in the deck, right? Siege Rhino off the top for the win would be pretty cool. Oh, the black land is in my hand. That's ridiculous. All right. So played the odds. Opponent did not have the shock land. We're still alive. Maybe they're realizing that they're dead on board. I mean, Death Shadow is just like playing against Death Shadow is 1 risk after another for the most part. Ephemerate fetched. Oh, well, whatever. You can laugh about it, but you might just be dead. Oh, I guess they get another draw, which is unfortunate. Oh, I drew another Ephemerate. That's sick. So they need like a really specific 2-card combination to beat me here. But did we get there? Maybe they have like a Thought Scour for a redraw. Four mana. What is going on right now? Are they going to gain life by exiling a creature or something with that weird card that they play? I don't even know what's happening. Oh, they're going to buy back that thing, right? Is that what that does? Escape. They get to escape it and gain life, right? Oh, but if I ephemerate, this is rough. So they're going to gain 3 life, but I just get to play Worship now, right? I'm going to ephemerate once and then get Worship. Oh, wait, okay. I thought they were taking Worship. We have Worship. Good. Okay, well, now they need 2 removal spells. Jeez, what a game. And they can continue gaining life with Cling to Dust, right? They can do it one more time. They couldn't possibly have 2 removal spells in hand, right? Yeah, this has been a great game. Oh, is this a Maelstrom Pulse? It's not a Maelstrom Pulse. That would be impossible. I think they're just clinging right now. What? 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 The opponent does not know what they're doing. Maybe they don't have a basic to get? Come on, don't crack it now. You've waited this long, opponent. Oh my god. What is happening? What is happening? I was dead on board. Like, just crack this thing. Maybe they don't have a basic. And they can't do this Cling to Dust thing right now. But they don't have another Cling to Dust. What? So unnecessary. Just kill me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait a second. I still can't get out of this. I still can't do it because if that's ridiculous. Well, the opponent seemed to not know what was going on, so let's play this. I drew another 3-drop, like, deck. Come on. Double Cling to Dust. That's like insane. And now they've just got their whether they didn't want to crack this for whatever reason. I'm just hoping that they don't know how Worship works, but I think that we're just out of it, guys. We did our best. Ah, it's so annoying. Ugh, so stupid. A double lands running. Opponent was on 1 card. They found Engineered Explosives. But they said good game. And I said good game, thanks. So drew another 3-drop. Man, how did they win through Worship with two creatures and a third coming? They found Engineered Explosives. Well, anyhow, guys, that's probably enough from me today. We beat Tron. What else did we beat? We beat Tron, we beat Infect, we lost to Mono Blue Tron, and we lost to Death Shadow, which should be an amazing matchup. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys are playing some Soul Herder yourselves. It is a pretty fun deck. I've been playing Merfolk mostly lately, and you know what? I might play one game of Merfolk, just throw it into the Soul Herder stream. See if I can get a little bit of like cross. Oh wait, that's not where I needed to go. I needed to go to Constructed. And yeah, unfortunately, the opponent was just there. So, you know, there's nobody waiting. If you guys want to watch some Merfolk, I will be streaming it tomorrow on Wednesday evening. Pretty sure, like, when I started streaming this afternoon, I think that we had, like, just a second. Looks like Reed Duke is live. I like that guy. So Reader Rabbit, I'm gonna try to send a raid over to Reader Rabbit. REIDERRABBIT. So please tell Mr. Duke that I say hello. If I can make this work. My tiny phone is not letting me correct my text here. Okay. All right, guys. So have a great afternoon. If you want to watch Reed's stream, enjoy. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys tomorrow evening for my Merfolk stream. Until then, see you guys later. Follow if you haven't done that. Subscribe if you feel like it. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.